everyone, I am Dr. Gayatri, Assistant Professor at Smriti College of Pharmaceutical Education, Indore, from the Department of Pharmacology. In our today's class, we will look at what is congestive heart failure and the pharmacology of drugs that are used in the treatment of congestive heart failure. Congestive heart failure. So heart failure, the term when we hear, we can think of it as heart has completely failed to function, but that is not what it represents. Heart failure means heart is failing to act in the way that it should function, or its function is not being appropriate or sufficiently done. So that is what is heart failure. So congestive heart failure is a chronic progressive condition that affects the pumping power of heart muscle. So basically in congestive heart failure, the heart's pumping function is not being done appropriately or sufficiently. So that is called heart failure. So while often referred to as, so this condition is often referred to as congestive heart failure, but congestive heart failure, that is CHF, is specifically refers to the stage in which fluid builds up around the heart and causes it to pump inefficiently. So congestive heart failure is a stage of heart failure in which fluid buildup is seen around the heart and heart's pumping efficiency is reduced. So congestive heart failure is represented as CHF. So CHF develops when the ventricles cannot pump enough blood volume to the body. We know that blood is pumped to the different parts of the body through ventricles. So when ventricles are not able to pump the blood sufficiently or efficiently, then what happens? The body is not receiving sufficient amount of blood. So eventually what happens? Blood and other fluids starts accumulating in different parts such as lungs, abdomen, liver, lower extremities, and because of these reasons, CHF can also, once it progresses, it can become life-threatening. Common types of CHF. So CHF is right-sided and left-sided, where left-sided CHF is the most common type of CHF. In this, the left ventricle is not able to pump the blood properly to the body. So what happens as this condition progresses? Fluid builds up in lungs, once the fluid is built up in the lungs, what happens? Breathing becomes difficult. So the patients who have left-sided CHF, one of the symptoms that can be seen in them is they have difficulty in breathing. So there are two kinds of left-sided heart failure. So one is systolic heart failure and the other is diastolic heart failure. So we know what systole and diastole is. Systole happens when the heart is in contraction. So systolic heart failure occurs when left ventricle fails to contract normally. So what happens when the left ventricle contracts? Only then the blood is pumped out. So when it is not able to contract properly, the force of contraction, less force is available to push the blood out into the circulation. So because of this, because the reduced contraction, that is reduced force available to contract, this results in heart not being able to pump the blood to different parts of the body properly. The next type is diastolic failure. This is also called as diastolic dysfunction. So we know that diastole is nothing but the resting phase of the heart between the beats. So what happens when the muscle, this happens when the muscle becomes stiff. So when the muscle is stiff, naturally it cannot relax. So when the muscle in the left ventricle becomes stiff in this condition, because of which it can no longer relax. So the filling of the heart happens when the heart is in the relaxed state. So because it is not able to relax, the heart cannot fill with blood properly between the beats. So because of this, what happens? So this is about diastolic dysfunction. In this, the heart is not being able to get filled with blood during the resting time. So the other type is right-sided CHF. Right-sided CHF occurs when the right ventricle has difficulty in pumping the blood to lungs. We know that blood goes from right atrium to right ventricle. From right ventricle it goes to lungs for being oxygenated. So because in right-sided CHF, right ventricles are not being able to pump the blood does not go to lungs sufficiently. Because of this, blood backs up, that is blood accumulates in the blood remains in the blood vessels, which causes fluid retention in lower extremities, that is lower parts of the body, abdomen and other vital organs. So it is possible that in a patient both left-sided and right-sided heart failure can be seen at the same time. So usually right-sided heart failure develops when left-sided heart failure progresses and it is left untreated, then it can result in right-sided heart failure. Coming to the treatment, non-pharmacological treatment of heart failure is rest and reduction in salt intake. So what happens when the person is taking rest? The peripheral needs of that patient will reduce, but this rest in a patient should be done only as long as the compensation is restored. So because if the patient remains resting for a long period of time, it may lower the myocardial reserve, which can be counterproductive, that is which can in fact produce an opposite effect than what is desired. And then salt restriction. So because in CHF fluid retention is seen, edema is seen, salt restriction helps in preventing edema formation. Therefore, it is advised in all types of CHF, that is all stages of CHF. And if the patient has any underlying cause because of which that patient developed CHF, such as hypertension, myocardial ischemia, anemia, arrhythmias, etc. In these conditions, the patient should be advised to be treated with the underlying cause first, and that should be the treatment. So the cause because of which the patient developed heart failure should be corrected first in these patients. Coming to pharmacological treatment, there are two main goals in the drug therapy in CHF. The first goal is to relief of congestive or low output symptoms and restoration of cardiac performance. So to relieve the symptoms of CHF and to restore the cardiac performance, that is the function of the heart to normal. So this can be achieved using 5 classes of drugs. They are inotropic drugs. These include digoxin, dobutamine, dopamine, amrinone and milrinone. So inotropic drugs are, we know that inotropic means they affect the force of contraction of the heart. And then coming to diuretics, they include furosemide and thiazides. We know that diuretics help in getting rid of fluid retention. And then RAS inhibitors, they include AC inhibitors and ARBs, vasodilators, hydrolazine nitrates and nitroprusside, beta blockers including metoprolol, bisoprolol, carvedilol and nebivolol. And then the second goal is to arrest or reversal of the disease progression and prolongation of survival. So to prevent the disease progression or to reverse what has happened and to prolong the survival of the patient is the other goal. This can be achieved by using AC inhibitors, ARBs, beta blockers and aldosterone antagonists, that is spironolactone and eplerenone.